today marks day 35 of Operation Epic Fury, and Iran is shouting, letting everyone know they shot down an F-15E Strike Eagle. It appears to have belonged to the 494th Fighter Squadron based at Ra'af Lake and Heath. Iran claims it was due to one of their new anti-aircraft missiles, which we'll discuss throughout this video. But they're vowing broader and more devastating retaliation, rejecting any claims of a ceasefire. While they're celebrating shooting down an F-15E, it appears one of the crew members has been safely rescued. The most important thing is to get the crew members back. So it appears one of them has been safely rescued, possibly by Air Force rescue forces and possibly other special forces getting them out of the country, but one is still being searched for. I will keep you updated on the latest news regarding the search for this second crew member. But Iran is celebrating this while its highest suspension bridge, the B-1 bridge, 136 meters high, was just attacked near Karaj in Iran. It may have been struck by an F-15E Strike Eagle. This is a targeted maneuver that F-15E Strike Eagles regularly practice. The bridge was cut in half by a precision American airstrike and will never be used again, or at least not for a long time. This is a military supply route, but the big win here is the rescue of one of the F-15E crew members, and if God bless them, they will soon rescue a second one. A daring multi-aircraft operation is currently underway involving H-60G Pavehawk helicopters refueled by HC-130s, while the search for the second crew member continues because, remember, the F-15E carries a fighter pilot in the front and a weapons systems specialist in the rear. But the F-15E carries powerful weapons and firepower. It's a true fighting machine built for deep penetration into enemy territory and achieving air superiority. Therefore, F-15E pilots are risking their lives every day because they are the ones required to penetrate deep into enemy territory. And remember, this is a fourth-generation fighter aircraft. So, with Russia and China helping Iran develop some of their weapon systems, targeting a fourth-generation fighter jet could happen with just a single event, even after various surface-to-air missile sites in Iran have been destroyed. There are still a few such because the country is so vast. There are still a few such aircraft that could do exactly what we've seen happen here, but this is one of the most capable American fighter jets, and Iran has been able to shoot down one of the thousands of sorties made by F-15s, F-16s, and others. But President Trump has been briefed on this. Caroline Leavitt said he has received the briefing, but perhaps right now, the number one focus is ensuring all resources are concentrated on finding the second crew member. That is extremely important. Finding the second crew member simultaneously showed Iran that their power plants, bridges, and entire infrastructure were targets for attack. And with President Trump saying this on Truth Social, just a little more time, and we could easily open the Strait of Hormuz, get the oil, and make a huge amount of money. That would be an oil flood for the whole world. So the current focus is on preparing the battlefield, attacking infrastructure. The Marine Corps Expeditionary Unit is in the area, and the USS Ford is also moving or sailing back to the area after repairs. So now even more naval air forces are being sent to the area and the Carrier Strike Group. Having these additional forces will increase the fighting capacity to open the Strait of Hormuz. And the attacks on the B-1 bridge are hitting Iran's weak point, hitting the IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, right where their money flows. One crew member from the F-15E shot down over Iran has been rescued by U.S. forces and is receiving medical care. The search for the second crew member continues. To date, there have been no confirmed reports of captivity in Iran. And here are the different images we're seeing. Initially, they compared it to the tail of an F-35. The propaganda machine initially said it was an F-35, but the wreckage you can see here is clearly an F-15E from the 494th Squadron based at Lake and Hith, the downing of a U.S. F-15E fighter jet over Iran today. The fate of the pilot remains unknown. According to official sources, an American crew member from the downed F-15EJ has been rescued. So, I wish the pilot or operator Wizo who is still out there safety. I hope they are safe and rescued soon. This is an image of the F-15E Strike Eagle, and then it takes you to the specific location where the incident is taking place. This is a large province. It stretches across the central mainland of Iran. And on this map, you can see many different attacks have taken place. Many attacks in the last 24 hours, and then the F-15E was shot down. Obviously tragic, horrific. We need to search for the remaining crew member, but this could be the purpose of that F-15E. This hasn't been confirmed, but many new attacks are taking place on infrastructure in Tran. Look at this B1 bridge and see it collapsing. This could have been the target of an F-15E, B1 or B-52, but now attacking the infrastructure in Tran, which supplies the war machine drones, and ballistic missiles seems to be the main focus, and more information is being updated. Therefore, the search for the second crew member is still ongoing, and that is why we see the C-130, the Caesar HC-130J combat search and rescue aircraft, also refueling the H-60G Pavehawk helicopter. Officials say it appears the two crew members parachuted from the F-15E after being hit by Iranian fire. U.S. Special Forces located one of the two crew members and rescued him alive on Iranian territory. And Israeli officials said Israel canceled planned attacks on Iran so as not to interfere with search and rescue efforts. And then I want to mention this. US, that's their #1 goal, so they have nuclear weapons. The whole reason why we've heard for decades that Iran can't have nuclear weapons is because we know they would use them. Their goal is to wipe out the US and Israel. So I know it's sometimes difficult when there might not be a direct attack on the US. But I understand the frustration. But to me, looking at this issue, it seems like Iran is concealing its nuclear weapons capabilities, which the Ayatollah, based on religious teachings, could then very likely direct to be used against, and now we're facing a nuclear war. Not to mention Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz, and they're allied with Russia and China. So, if China wants to take Taiwan, they need the flow of oil through the Strait of Hormuz. And if Iran controls it, they can supply China with as much oil as they want to wage war. But if the US has influence there, and other Gulf partners have a bigger say in what happens in the Strait of Hormuz, then China has to think twice before going to war and taking Taiwan. So Iran claims it was a Syed 4B missile fired from a Bavar 373 system. It's a two-stage solid fuel monster. In theory, it's no joke, but they say it has a range of 400 kilometers. Perhaps a range of around 100 miles is reasonable, and it's very fast. They say it can reach Mach 5. It uses an active radar seeker in the terminal stage for precise guidance against high-speed jets, and it's built to shoot down fourth-generation jets. It's combined with mid-course inertial guidance and data link updates. Iran claims the whole system is highly mobile, and that's likely true. It's probably a mobile system that can be loaded onto a heavy truck. They say it has rapid reloading capabilities and is resistant to electronic warfare. It's like their homemade answer to Russia's S-400 system. And it's said that Russia and China are helping to update and adjust the air defense system in Iran. and when these fighter jets fly over, some radars are still active, gathering information at all times. And unfortunately, in this case, they hit that lucky target, apparently shooting down the Strike Eagle. But the S-400 is a very powerful Russian system. So that is success, and hopefully we're 100% and we can get that second air crew member out of there as well. But the whole goal here for the US is absorb this headline, take a little bit of a hit here and then continuously deliver the real damage to the infrastructure in Iran and maintain overwhelming momentum without getting dragged into the propaganda back and forth. But let's break down and tip our hat to the SAR forces, the search and rescue forces. When I was flying in combat, just knowing that these forces were there gave me an edge of confidence. So when the F-15E went down, the combat search and rescue machine kicked into full high gear immediately. HA-60G Pavehawks loaded with U.S. Air Force rescue flew and refueled mid-mission by HC-1 and 30 Combat King tankers to extend their range deep into Iranian territory.